There is a change atop the Green Bay Packers leadership starting in the summer of 2025 as Ed Policy will take over for Mark Murphy as the Packers team president. Mark Murphy has been a dutiful soldier in this role, overseeing many tough transitions and being there for a Super Bowl championship in 2010. But as the Packers bylaws state, he must give up his post before the age of 70. This was implemented a long time ago, this age limit. The Packers have done nothing to fight it. Mark Murphy is doing nothing to fight it. So he will, in fact, step down. And Ed Policy, who's been with the organization for a decade, will then take over in the summer of 2025. Does this mean that we are no longer going to get direct access to our team president in the form of the weekly email column, Murphy Takes 5, that you can find every month, I should say, at Packers.com? I pray that Ed Policy will still give us an insight into this organization as Mark has so dutifully done over his tenure. But since these are waning, we don't know how many we'll have left. We will now read the latest Murphy Takes 5. Again, it's available at Packers.com. I will read the question. I will read the answer that Mark Murphy gave. And then evil Mark Murphy will give his real thoughts on the matters at hand. Question number 1 comes from Steve W. in Flagstaff, Arizona. He says, has anyone ever confused you with former Packers player Mark Stephen Murphy? On another note, I, as a fan, appreciate your efforts you have done here with the Packers. I can't imagine the difficult decisions that have been made over the years, like to trade away a player such as Devontae, Aaron, and to trade up for Jordan Love, and make releases on players like Bach and Campbell that may dismay fans. And that is just a pint size of the things the organization has dealt with. I know there are others who also appreciate your work and dedication to this franchise. So, saying I wish you well in future endeavors as your time ends with the Packers, and I hope you find peace and serenity in whatever you do. Mark's response. Yes, Mark Stephen Murphy and I, Mark Hodge Murphy, Hodge is my mother's maiden name, get confused for each other all the time. We both played safety in the NFL during the same time period, had similar careers, and both have connections to the Packers. Earlier in my tenure, when I would get cards from Mark Stephen, I would just sign my name and return them. When I received a letter with a card from a young boy who said he also had alopecia, a condition where hair is lost from some or all parts of the body, and asked how I dealt with it, though, I decided to forward the card and letter to Mark Stephen. I knew I would not be able to answer that question. I now forward all Mark's mail to him. Very polite, Mark. But what did you really intend to say? First of all, there's no way in God's green that was a real question. And I'm pretty sure in doing this bit in the past, Stephen W. from Flagstaff, Arizona is my main go-to. The guy emails me addressing Mark Stephen Murphy as the other Mark Murphy. You might know there's another Mark Murphy who didn't have hair. A comment which, if you didn't, I so willingly was ready to jump onto. Not with my beautiful dome. This was a planted email. There's no question about it. I don't get a lot of emails in these. I might as well just come clean. I had to answer something. The rest of the email was just, oh, you did a great job trading away players nobody wanted traded away. Of course I did. And it was hard. And I shielded. You know who I shielded? The 500,000 people that call themselves owners. Where are you out there? You're the ones giving me heat. You ungrateful sons of bees. Why do I got to step away at 70 anyway? I don't want to leave. Ed Policy, this West Coast elitist, gonna come here and ruin everything I've built. He'll probably put an escalator next to the sled. Half the joy in sledding is the reward of coming down after the hard walk up. For those of you that don't understand. God! The next question on Murphy Takes 5 is from Dan. Hey, Murph, can I give you a high five for the Packers donating to the cleanup in the Bay? Read an article in DU about the restoration of the Lower West End. Very nice article. Thank you for giving some Packer money to a very good cause. Thanks again. Listen up, Dan. Here's the thing about being the Packers commander-in-chief. Cleaning up the bay, that's most of what I do. Nobody sees the dirty work. Nobody sees the request I have to honor. Nobody sees the, oh, hey, Mark, there's another tour. You're the only one around. Come and surprise these fans. Nobody sees the kind of human filth that I allow to get married in my facility. That Winkler kid. We're still cleaning up from that party 10 years ago. This is the crap I have to deal with. All you guys are like, oh, get McCarthy and Ted Thompson to talk. I can't. I'm busy feeding ducks on the Fox River in the name of the Packers. You guys don't understand how hard it is to be me. Oh, gotta go. Got another golf outing from some charity I've never heard of. like the Packers help charities that aren't their own. Come on. Come on, Mark. I mean, I don't know. They donate stuff. Another question here. This is from Ryan in Bloomer. I would like to extend my congratulations to Ed Policy for his promotion to be your successor as Packers and CEO of the Green Bay Packers. Wow. Jeez. Edit that in post. As president and CEO of the Packers. And of course, we will hear from him and learn much about him over the next year. I'm curious if he will continue a similar form of your Murphy Takes 5 when he assumes the helm. Inquiring minds want to know. As always, thank you, Mark, for all you do. And Godspeed with the transition to Ed. And whatever your future holds, a well-deserved cheers. Thanks, Ryan. Ed has done a great job for us during his 12 years here. I've seen tremendous growth during his tenure, and I'm confident that he will make a smooth transition to president over the next year. In terms of MT5, it will really be up to Ed about how he would like connect with fans going forward. I've enjoyed MT5 and found it's a great way to address issues that are important to our fans. I also think it distinguishes the Packers from other teams in the league. Guys, I am 70 years old. You do not take the keys away from grandma at this age yet. 70s are the new 50s. We are a vibrant folk. You're going to kick me out of here because of some bylaws written 100 years ago? You couldn't even imagine people living to this age, much less be this healthy. I don't want to leave. Do you know that I can't be the Packers president? But if I ran for actual president of everyone in the race, I would be just the 6th oldest person. I'm younger than 5 people in the presidential race. And they're kicking me out. Oh, ageism strikes again. And guess what? Guess how I'm going to repay you bastards. I'm going to get on the waiting list. I'm going to sit in the bleachers. And I'm going to make you sit down when you try to stand up on a 3rd and long on defense. With my raggedy ass seat from the 1950s. I don't want to leave. The next question, John from Janesville. What are your thoughts on the verdict in the Sunday ticket trial awarding the plaintiffs over $4 billion? Mark says, this was obviously big news last week, John. I was disappointed in the verdict and know that we will appeal the decision. I would also echo the sentiments that the league expressed in its statement. We are disappointed with the jury's verdict today in the NFL Sunday ticket trial class action lawsuit. We continue to believe that our media distribution strategy, which features all games broadcast on free over-the-air television in the markets of the participating teams and national distribution of our most popular games, supplemented by many additional choices including Red Zone, Sunday Ticket, and NFL Plus, is by far the most fan-friendly distribution model in all sports and entertainment. We certainly contest this decision, as we believe this class action claims in this case are baseless and without merit. We thank the jury for their time and service, for the guidance and oversight from Judge Gutierrez throughout the trial. Witch hunt! This is a witch hunt! The NFL's been nothing but good to you. You remember a time where you couldn't watch these games? No access? We're giving you access. Sure, it's an absorbent amount of money, but you paid for it. Now you're coming back and wanting it back? You don't like that on Sunday afternoons when the Packers play on one channel, you don't get another game on the other channel? You don't like that? You don't like that the other games that you do get on those channels are always like Bears, Lions 5 times a year? You don't like that? Well, then shove it. Ain't nobody taking the NFL down. Ain't no class action lawsuit. Ain't no people that have buyer's remorse. Maybe if you didn't suck at your fantasy leagues, which you bought this to begin with, you won't be crying for your money back. Plus, this actually hurts the Packers more than other teams. We need the money that you're trying to take from us. This is bad. Don't stop. Please don't sign up for this lawsuit. Another question on the Murphy Takes 5 at Packers.com. Johnny Walker from Boulder City, Nevada. I'm curious how the league's drug testing is conducted. Is every player tested at some point during the season? Or does the league pick players at random? Could a team test their own players? And would these tests then have to be reported to the league, positive or negative? I would imagine that the ethical, legal, and privacy concerns of the players would be of paramount concern to the players' union. In closing, thank you for the great leadership and direction that you have provided to this revered institution, Johnny Walker, Boulder City, Nevada, where we have the best Packer fans by a damn sight. Hoover Dam. Mark, thanks for raising this question, Johnny. It is timely, as the NCAA recently announced that it would no longer test for marijuana. With regards to your question, all of the league's drug testing is controlled by the collective bargaining agreement between the players and the owners. With regard to the testing, all players are tested in the preseason physical. We used to say that this is more of an IQ test than a drug test, since all players should know that they will be tested. And then players are randomly selected for a test after that. Clubs are not allowed to test on their own. The biggest concern in the league as it relates to drugs is the use of performance-enhancing drugs that give players a competitive advantage. Thank you, Johnny. Is your nickname Johnny Walker Red? I bet he's never heard that one before. What's all the questioning, Johnny? Are you trying to distribute drugs to my players and they want to make sure they don't get caught? Are you trying to take business away from Happy Place Hemp, where you can get your gummies with THC, CBD, CBN, Delta 8, Delta 9, all for 25% off with the promo code BART at happyplacehemp.com? You trying to take business away from that young man? Listen up. We're not golf. You don't get to report what you see on TV. Leave our players alone. It's the only reason I could assume you want to know so badly. What are you, a narc? If our players are dumb enough to get caught, I don't need you sniffing around, Johnny Walker Red. And those are the responses from evil Mark Murphy, a very impassioned man who clearly wants to retain the leadership. Men in power don't like to give up power. You are stripping the power away from Mark. For what? Because he's done too good of a job? Because the sled hill is too fun? Because he brought you a draft that there's in no way, shape, or form is going to be a success? It might, though. We need to cherish these questions. We need to cherish this man for answering these questions, even though some of them are so insanely fabricated and not true. We need to cherish the column while we have it. Mark Murphy, as an owner, you will always have my undying loyalty and my respect, good sir.